Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. My name is Ndung'u. If it is your very first time, karibu sana. We have been waiting for you. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for returning. Now, don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, and also share. Today we are discussing myths that we have about marriages. Some of you are wondering, why is it important for me to save my marriage? Don't worry. Before the end of this 6-part series, you will know the importance of saving your marriage. Without any further ado, let's get straight into the video. My first myth of the day is that your neurosis or your personality problems ruin your marriages. I want first to define neurosis. It is a mild disorder caused by environmental factors that ruin your normal maturation, and it is normally characterized by excessive anxiety, insecurity, and obsession. If you notice someone that has all these, they're trying to compensate for their various, it's a compensated defense mechanism for the things that they went through in their environments. So that's why you find them that they have this excessive anxiety, they are insecure, and sometimes very obsessive. So if you notice that someone has these personality disorders or problems, does not necessarily mean that the marriage will be in ruins. What it means is that, of course, they will have an effect on the spouse, but it is up to you, if you're dating someone that is like that, for you to understand what is necessarily causing them to behave the way they are behaving. For example, if I was raised in a home that was very dirty, but I developed a defense mechanism of just being clean in my own space, in my room, and I get married, I will have issues with a dirty spouse. So I will tend to be very tidy, and I wouldn't want a spouse that is not tidy. So any person that is untidy will make me feel I'm insecure in that environment, and I will cause a lot of issues if they continue to being untidy. So for you to work it out, you need to understand, why am I behaving the way I am behaving, and are these behaviors possible to correct? Because they are, and can you work around them? Because these personality problems don't ruin a marriage. As long as you know how to deal with them, it is so easy for you to overcome. If you can handle each other's strange sides, because we all have our own strange sides, and handle each other in care, with affection, and with respect, then your marriage will thrive. Okay, I don't want to go into the details, because I know we all know these personality problems. And if you have or are dating someone with a personality problem, kindly share down below in the comment section, so that people can know more personality disorders that we have, and how you have been able to overcome them even in your marriage. Secondly, we have myths that say that common interests keep you together. It is true that when you are commonly linked, that you will tend to make your marriage work, because the common interests keep you together. The problem with common interest at times is that spouses tend to be very competitive. They will tend to compete too much, because I feel like I need to prove to you I am better at this than you. Or you can find them doing a lot of comparison, which is a nuisance to the other spouse. And as much as it is a uniting factor, it can also be a dividing factor. So you need to also find a way to balance your common interest, so that you do not fight over them, instead of allowing them to build you. So it is a myth, because common interest without, and I am insisting, without mutual respect, can cause ruined marriages. Okay, so that is also a myth, but it can also be used in your marriage to make it work. So you can also find, because we have been told, find things that you two share in common, because they keep you together and they make you fond. But again, be very careful, because if you don't take care of that fondness, you will end up breaking up. The other myth is scratch my back, I scratch yours. I know a lot of us either work with this principle in our marriages, or some of us have had it when people are talking, like, he did such a good thing for me, maybe he surprised me on my birthday, and I feel the need to return the favor during his birthday. That is scratch my back, I scratch yours. What happens here is couples have an unwritten agreement to offer recompenses for every kind deed or word that has been offered by the other spouse. This will work as it's like you will be in competition again, because you are not doing it out of a willing heart. Unhappy couples tend to follow this rule more, but if you're a happy couple, you do it out of love. You don't keep tabs of what my spouse is doing until when he comes with a gift, I need to return the favor. You just buy the gifts because you feel a positive reaction and a positive feel towards your loved one and towards the relationship that you guys have built. So I will just say this: if you put a score, and if you've kept a score in any area of your marriage, then that means that it is a tension area and you need to address it before it spills out of proportion. Because any place where you have put where you have kept tabs means that it is an area that you need to address before it gets serious. Okay, another one is avoiding conflicts will ruin your marriage. This is a myth, because most couples simply have different styles of conflict. Some avoid fights at all costs, others fight a lot, others just are able to talk out their differences and find a compromise without necessarily raising their voices. So no one style can be necessarily better than the other in solving conflicts. As long as it's a style that works for both of you, then it is okay. What we want to talk about in terms of conflict is that conflict in marriages will always be there. Remember, we are two different people who have come together from different environments, raised differently, different principles, different everything, and we are building something together. Meaning, we will always have a conflict in terms of the way we view things. I need to mention here that just because you think that your way of doing things is right doesn't make it right. Okay, there is no right way of doing anything because you feel like it is the right way. It is just because you have been raised that way, so you think that is the right way. But not in marriages, because when you look at it from that point, then you will always disagree, or you will want your way because you think that it is the right way. So you will always have to find a compromise, because no way is the right way. It is just how you guys will make your marriages work. We have been saying affairs are the root cause of divorces in our current era, and it's true. A lot of people are finding themselves in divorce, but divorce are in affairs, but affairs are not the reason why most people are having divorces. You see, in our current life, problems in marriages send couples in a trajectory to divorce also, because when one person is in trouble, they find another person to be intimate and to find an intimate connection with, because outside their marriage, because they can't find it inside their marriage. When an affair starts, it doesn't necessarily start with sex, but it is usually a person who is seeking friendship, support, understanding, the respect that they don't have in their marriages, that attention, the care and the concern that they would want, and that is why they look for someone who can offer that in the beginning, and maybe that relationship then graduates into an affair. And marriage is supposed to offer all these things that this other person is looking for. So when they don't find it, they go and look for it. The last myth I will talk about is that men are not biologically built for marriage. I know that a lot of us have said that because we tend to think that it is supposedly the law of the jungle, that the male species just looks to create as many offsprings as possible, and so his allegiance is not to just to one particular mate. So that means that his allegiance is superficial. Meanwhile, the female is considered to be the one who is given the task to tend for the young ones. So they will look for a single mate who will provide well for her and her children. But as we have come to see even the trend outside the law of the jungle now in our current era. The frequency of extramarital affairs does not necessarily depend on the gender so much as the opportunity. And what I mean is, opportunities are the ones that are causing extramarital affairs. We can't necessarily put it to one gender. I was thinking about this and I just said this: if there were no women or young women to allow these married men to attract them, then there will be no extramarital affairs. The same applies with men. If the married men would stick in their marriages, then these young women will not be having affairs with married men. So you see, it's all about the opportunity that is created there in between and not necessarily the gender. Because one gender cannot date itself, cannot do extramarital affairs on its own. We need each other. So that is where the issue is. It is on the opportunity and not necessarily on the gender. That is what I mean when I say the frequency of the extramarital affairs does not necessarily depend on the gender, but it depends on the opportunity. So now that many women are working outside the homes, because now the norm has changed, we are no longer in the houses, we are out there in the marketplace, the rate of extramarital affairs by women also has skyrocketed, okay? So that also shows that it is not necessarily the male that are the issue, because of course women are finding opportunities out there when they are working. So that is why it has increased the extramarital affairs. Gender, of course, the gender differences may contribute, which is not a lie and it's not a fallacy. They may contribute to marital problems, but they are not the cause of the premarital problems. I want us to go through this myth again, and I want you to look at the ones that are affecting you, or you think that they are myths you've had, and maybe you're scared of getting into marriages because of some of these myths. I want to submit to you, and let me start with the main one, that men are built for marriage, and any man can be a husband if they are taken care of, if they are nurtured well and they are trained well. So if you're a parent to a male child, train them in the ways of the Lord and teach them the way they should go. And when they are old, they will not depart from these ways, as much as our generation is rotten. Same goes to our baby girls. If you can teach them the right way, then we will have nice people who will meet, who will interact, and who will marry, and their marriages will work. As I began and I said that marriage is a complex institution, and I'm not trying to simplify it, and I'm not trying to say that it is an easy, but as complex as it is also very easy for us to stay married, to stay happy, and to enjoy our marriages. If you have any myth also that I have not mentioned, as I said earlier, kindly post them and comment and leave them in the comment section so that we can know more myths, because I only gave 5 of them. We have come to the end of this particular vlog, but we are going to talk about principles that make your marriages work. And I know that it will be an awesome topic. Kindly stay tuned, because it's going to be amazing. Promise you. Okay, that has been my time. See you on the next vlog.